What is the WTF Protocol? It was a project started at East Denver to solve some existing problems with identity on blockchain. So it solves two problems, the identity problem and the single point of failure problem. So the identity problem is that anybody can upload a content to the blockchain, and we've seen this a lot with NFTs recently, where over 80% of lazy minted OpenSea NFTs are fraudulent, many of which are plagiarized. And then there's a further issue where, in addition to wanting to know who you're transacting with on the blockchain, that they're really who they say they are, there's also the problem of recovering your funds if you lose your private key. So that's the single point of failure of Web3. People talk about Web3 as if it's getting rid of single points of failure, which is true, but it's also adding one, which is you in your memory. And a related problem this solves is easy payments and easy discovery of people. So without knowing someone's address or without them buying an ENS domain, then you can still find them and pay them easily. So this will help with mainstream adoption of Web3 and with security of Web3, and with a lot of the rampant fraud. It will also enable a plethora of new protocols that are actually building on the WTF protocol as we speak. So this offers a very easy user interface. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. We'll see a demo on who is this WTF. And so we'll log in with Orchid. That's for scientists. It's a common account that scientists have. So this is working with Orchid and Google right now, and we're integrating Facebook and Twitter, GitHub, etc. So first thing we do, of course, is ask for consent, because Web3 is about ownership of your data. So we want to make sure that you're okay with being on-chain, and if you're not, you can submit private Holo, where it only puts the hash of it on-chain. For now, we'll do public, so that anybody can look you up by your Orchid account and see if you published a paper as a scientist that you actually own this paper. You are the actual author of the paper. And the two transactions are a necessity to prevent front running. And that's one of the reasons why we're switching to Harmony, because Harmony has very quick finality. Currently, we're running this on the Polygon testnet. We're doing a commit reveal behind the scenes. It's a pattern to prevent front running, where we hash the token that Orchid gave us combined with our public key. Oh, cool, we're verified. And then in a later block, we prove that we had knowledge of it in a previous block. So now we can demonstrate the lookup process. Now we can look up this Orchid ID and see the corresponding blockchain address. And watch, when we do Google, it's a lot more human readable than how Orchid identifies people. You can see, well, the same address also owns the WTF protocol, and you can even tip them. So in short, that's a demo of our public credentials. And let's look at private credentials real quick. So we'll log in with Google, and I'm sure you've seen this flow before. And let's say we're not okay with our personal email account being on chain. Well, then we can submit a private Holo, and it asks us for the two transactions. And you see, this is a very easy user interface compared to the current options like Bright ID and Proof of Humanity, which attempt to offer Sybil resistance, but is a huge burden of work on the user with having to meet people on Zoom, etc. Here it's just a few clicks. So this can be very helpful in bringing identity in an easy way for the user. We're also looking to integrate with traditional KYC via machine learning-based ID and passport recognition. So we'll finish uploading the private credentials, and this is where it's saved on Ceramic, and it's using the LIT protocol. And as you can see, here's our identity information. It has our name and our profile picture, and somewhere has my email address here too. Here we go. So So then we can always grant access to certain people. So just as a proof of concept, we're granting and removing our own access, and this applies in the same way to other people. We'll remove access, and then once that transaction finishes on chain in Harmony, that'll just be a matter of seconds. Then we can view credentials. Let's give it a few more seconds though right now. And yep, there's an error this time, and you can no longer access it because we have revoked the access on chain. So this is a building block for the future of self-sovereign identity, where the person owns their own identity, no tech company owns it. And instead, we have this federated yet decentralized identity controlled by the person. And in a similar manner, if we do this, then there are also smart contract conditions to prove that you are the person and therefore recover your wallet keys and do two-factor authentication and have all sorts of security benefits. So that's in our future roadmap. Right now, we just started by building for scientists, and now we're building for about 7 different organizations for identity, and pretty soon we're hoping to expand to wallet recovery